Hi Colt, I'm sorry I missed reading last week. I was busy, so we're gonna make up and do Wizard Wednesday today. We read part 1 of chapter 4 last week, where the Scarecrow is explaining how he got made, and we're going to finish chapter 4 right now. "This fellow will scare the cows fast enough," said the farmer. "He looks just like a man." "Why, he is a man," said the other. And I quite agreed with him. The farmer carried me under his arm to the cornfield and set me up on a tall stick where you found me, and he and his friend left soon after and left me alone. I did not like to be deserted in this way, so I tried to walk after them, but my feet would not touch the ground. And I was forced to stay on the pole. It was a lonely life to lead, for I had nothing to think of, having been made of so little. Many crows and other birds flew into the cornfield, but as soon as they saw me, they flew away. And I was thinking, but as soon as they saw me, they flew away thinking I was a munchkin, and this pleased me and made me feel like I was a quite important person. By and by, an old crow flew near me, and after looking at me carefully, he perched upon my shoulder and said, "I wonder if the farmer thought to fool me in this clumsy manner. Any crow of any sense can see you are only stuffed with straw." Then he hopped down to my feet and ate all the corn he wanted, and the other birds, seeing he was not harmed, came to eat the corn too. So in short time there was a great flock of them about me. I felt sad about this, for it showed that I was no good as a scarecrow at all. But the old crow comforted me, saying, "If you only had brains in your head, you'd be as good as any of them, a better man than some. Brains are the only thing in the world worth having, no matter whether one is a crow or a man." And after the crows had gone, I thought this over, and I decided I would try hard to get some brains. By good luck, you came along and pulled me off my stake. And from what you say, I'm sure the great Oz could give me brains as soon as we get to Emerald City. "I hope so," Dorothy said earnestly, "since you seem anxious to have them." "Oh, yes, I'm anxious. It's such an uncomfortable feeling to know one is a fool." "Well, let's go." And she handed the basket to the Scarecrow. There were no fences at all by the roadside now, and the land was rough and untilled. Toward the evening, they came to a great forest where the trees grew so big and close together their branches met over the yellow brick road. It was almost darkness under the trees, for the branches shut out the daylight, but the travelers did not stop, and they went on into the forest. "If this road goes in, it must come out," said the Scarecrow, "and as the Emerald City's on the other side of the road, we must go where it leads us." "Oh, anyone would know that," Dorothy said. "Certainly, that's why I know it," said the Scarecrow. "If it required brains to figure it out, I never would have said it." An hour or so later, the light faded away, and they found themselves stumbling into darkness. Dorothy could not see at all, but Toto could, for some dogs see very well in the dark, and the Scarecrow declared he could see well by day. So she took hold of his arm and managed to get them along fairly well. "If you see any house or any place where we could pass the night," she said, "you must tell me, for it's very uncomfortable to walk in the dark." Soon the Scarecrow stopped. "I see a little cottage right ahead of us. It's built of logs and branches. Shall we go there?" "Yes, indeed," answered the child. "I'm all tired out." So the Scarecrow led her through the trees until they reached the cottage, and Dorothy entered and found a bed of dried leaves in one corner. She lay down at once with Toto beside her and soon fell into a sound sleep. The Scarecrow, who was never tired, stood up in a corner and waited patiently until the morning came. All right, on to chapter 5 next week. Have a great night, Colts.